She gave me permission that it's okay to not, go out there and try to be a CrossFit 20-year-old. Find the things that are right for you right now.
I'm Jill Angelo, host of the Geneve podcast series for women's health in midlife. I speak with the most forward-thinking experts in the health and wellness industries. These experts are helping women 40 plus feel confident and in control of their health in the most vibrant years of their lives. So join us on this journey of women's health. At midlife, Mary Slagle, a successful and driven woman with a great career and 5 kids, realized she wasn't living her life as fully as she wanted to. She found Lara Dolch, a health and nutrition and lifestyle coach who's committed to helping women be their most vibrant, confident selves. Their partnership got Mary back on track. Here's how. I am here today with health coach Lara Dolch. Lara, you've been with us in the past.
Yes,
welcome back.
Thank you.
We have kind of a unique and fun scenario today. Lara has brought one of her customers or clients. I don't know how you refer to your clients, one of your clients to Geneve. And so I'd also like to welcome Mary Slagle. Welcome, Mary.
Nice to see you, ladies.
It's good to all be together. And, the reason why this is a little bit of a unique format for us, we've always just done kind of one-on-one interviews in the Geneve podcast series. And this time we thought, hey, let's bring together the client and the professional and just hear a little bit about how you two work together. First of all, Mary, can you just share with us a little bit about you and why you sought out Lara as someone that could help you feel even better in your body?
Sure. Yeah, I'm a technology salesperson and I work for a software wellness company, and I have a very stressful, it's not a 9 to 5 job, and I'm spending a lot of extra time, working on what I love, my passion. And I'm also a married mother of 5, a grandmother of 4, and it's just a lot to juggle. So when I was pursuing a new prospect, I came across Lara's website, saw the content on her website, just saw her as a potential customer for my software, and I started reading and looking at what she had, and it stopped me in my tracks.
Tell us, before I turn it over to Lara, tell us a little bit about what struck you as you were reading through Lara's profile and the services that she provides.
Well, the Get Out of Your Own Way worksheet and the invitation to have this free opportunity to look at that was the first. That was the gate that I pushed open. And then as I started diving into some of those questions, I realized that I was so far down the path of I'd given up. I had become hopeless at the state of, I've reached a certain age. I'm just going to settle that my body's going to be a certain way, that my energy level is I'm going to accept that it's never going to be anything more. I'm not going to be able to play with my grandkids because I just get too winded and I just can't do it. I'm going to take a seat and let someone else. And I get emotional even talking about this because that's not right. Mm-hmm. And that's not what was supposed to happen. And it now is so dramatically different. And I just saw her as someone who could be my Obi-Wan, who could pull me to a place where I could not have to settle.
That's wonderful.
You're gonna make
wow.
me cry too, Mary.
Yeah. Well, Mary, that's incredible. And I want to dig into a little bit more about how you were feeling. But before we do, Lara, can you explain to, kind of our audience a little bit about the worksheet that I think caught Mary's attention at the start?
Sure. Yeah. So I call it my Get Out of Your Own Way workshop, and it's sort of an online audio workshop and worksheet that is, available free on my website. And, I designed it because I, over the years, saw women do the same things over and over again in terms of sabotaging their own goals. And it wasn't just about health goals. It was about goals to live a bigger life, really, to step into their lives and to do the things that they wanted to do. And, you know, to Mary's point, to be with their family in the way they wanted to be. And so I brought those, I guess there are 7 of them, those sort of 7 ways that I saw people getting in their own way together into this workshop to help women identify it, first of all, and then obviously figure out how to move them out of the way so that they could get to where they wanted to be in life and be and feel powerful again, really. So yeah, so that's the to Mary's point, that's often the entry point for women into my world, if you will.
That's great. So kind of a low barrier to entry. Like and Mary, I guess in that moment when you came upon Lara and, you know, the Get Out of Your Own Way workshop that she puts together, what did it had to have brought a new awareness to you. It sounds like you didn't realize how bad you felt or what you know you were settling for until that moment. Tell us a little bit about that kind of moment of awareness or learning.
Yeah, for me, I don't like that sense of powerlessness. I don't stay in a state of powerlessness very often because I'm so capable in my job, what I do for work. And so in my personal life, this is where is the real gotcha. I have a harder time helping myself in all the areas, whether it's eating better, exercising more, getting the right amount of sleep, taking time for me. Those are the things that are my gotchas. And I felt like this is a woman who has helped other executive level, high stress job people. And so if anyone can get me the right tools and show me how to use them and hold me accountable, it's going to be Lara.
So in that moment of kind of realization, I guess, Lara, I want to ask you, and please follow on to what Mary just said, but also what is it in kind of that initial information that you've put out in your Get Out of Your Own Way workshop that creates the sense of awareness in women? Because I think I know so many things about my life I could be doing better and feeling better, but I don't even know how much better I could be feeling. So how do you tease that out?
That's a great question. I think, well, the first part of it is just, I think, recognizing that you're not alone. Like that's often, you know, the first thing is people are like, oh, this is like a thing. I'm not the only one doing this. Like clearly if it's in this workshop, I must not be the only one doing it. So I think there's a sense of relief and a sense of hope, probably just from being seen in some way. And I also think that it opens the door with just that little sliver of hope that something could change, right? So perhaps it's just that psychological or that mindset shift, that tiny little mindset shift to see the possibility of something different when you didn't even know that you wanted it. So I think that's kind of, and I would actually love to hear Mary's thoughts on what that was like for her. But I also think just saying, you know, going back to what Mary was saying about, you know, having some difficulty with, you know, keeping her personal life top of mind and taking time for herself. I also see, you know, a lot of women, and Mary was one of these, who had, you know, physical, like fitness goals. So Mary is a runner and, you know, that brings her a lot of joy. And it wasn't, you know, and she runs races and it was something that she wanted to keep doing. And I talk to a lot of women who have personal goals around fitness or great adventures. You know, I have a client right now who's who's planning a solo trip to Bhutan and Tibet in the fall or in the spring, and, you know, really wants to feel as good as she can for that. So I see a lot of that too, where it's, they have these big goals in their life, and they just don't feel like they're in a place where they can embrace them fully.
So there's this moment of awareness. Oh my gosh, there's a better way, and I've got goals and I want to feel better. And then there's the work to get there. because that's gotta, you know,
Yes,
like I
very
think that's
different.
what holds us all back. Like, oh God, I don't want to change my diet. I don't, you know, I'm going to be accountable to this person. I'll put it off till I'm ready. Mary, from your point of view, what was it like getting into the work once you were kind of through that initial assessment and you reached out to Lara and you said, I'm ready to do this? Tell us about, you know, how it was kind of day to day.
Well, the first thing was her having me sign a contract that had me make promises to myself, and then also knowing that she would hold me in a brighter light than I hold myself. She would say, recognize the little achievements, and she would encourage me. Like, let's say my first week, you know, I didn't go to the gym as many times as I had planned to. You know, I think I even had written down in my grand plan that I was going to swim 3 days and run 4 days. And, you know, I had this grand plan, and she helped me scale that back and see that I should be appreciative and feel victorious that, you know, I ran twice that week and went to the gym once, you know, and it was just knowing that someone else understands how we all are, that we all expect way too much of ourselves, and we don't honor ourselves in the things that we're doing right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and Mary just hit on one of those big sabotaging things, the grand plan, right? That's the big one. And you and I've talked about this before, Jill. I mean, that's probably the most common one with high achieving women, is we think we can do way more than we can do. And then we end up feeling like failures when we don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so humbling, you know, and I guess I don't want women to think that we can achieve big things, because we obviously can. Mary, oh my God, you're a high performing professional. You have 5 children, you have grandchildren, you're like running races. If that's not achievement, I don't know, you know, and there's achievement at all sorts of levels, but it's fascinating what we hold ourselves to. And I think that it takes somebody else externally to us, looking back at us, to help us realize, what does achievement and success look like? And so Lara, as a health coach or a professional, like, how do you help mold that in your clients' minds? Because that's a mental transformation that we have to get through.
Yeah, it is. And it is, you know, you're right. It's a balance between, like, you don't want to, it's not about letting yourself off the hook so much that you don't achieve what you want to achieve, right? Like, I mean, absolutely set big goals, and at the same time, give yourself the grace and flexibility to adjust when you need to, and understand that, especially when it comes to wellness goals, that they mean something different, you know, sometimes every day. You know, feeling well means something different every day, and every week and every month and whatever. So I think the mindset shift is, I see it come from recognizing what's going well, to Mary's point. I mean, that's really the big thing, is if you can train your brain to, and it's a practice like everything else, to start noticing what's going well, and especially the little things, you build on that. That's motivating. So that's really the way to do it. And it's just, at first, it's not natural. It's sort of like, it's the same thing with, you know, like a gratitude practice. You know, a lot of people have heard about a gratitude practice, and there is research to show that actually does create a greater sense of well-being. It's the same thing here. When we recognize our small successes, we are motivated to do more.
Is there a moment in the program, and Mary, let's start with you. Was there a moment in the program where you kind of hit a bit of a low? You were over the honeymoon, and it was hard. What happened? What did you feel like, and how did you pull out of it?
Yeah, there were 2 things that stand out in my mind. One is that, you know, the home that I live in is filled with food that I cannot eat, that I should not eat, that is, you know, off limits if I'm truly committed to one of the promises, which is to, you know, eat food that is good for my body, that's, you know, helping my body. My husband and my son eat and live on pizza and on, food that just is hot dogs and, things that are not going to be in my vibrant, healthy playbook. So I was feeling like I just have to move out of here. I'm not going to be able to do this. And Laura was like, no, you can stay. We're going to help you build your pantry. We're going to help you build the areas in that refrigerator where you see the food that is, you love it and it's good for you. And in the cupboard, I even have my own section now where I go to that's my food and I know what I want and I can grab that. And so that was a big thing. And then my son was getting ready to graduate and there was a lot of stress around the graduation and the planning and company coming and just I was losing it. And I felt like I was slipping away from my goals because I was not committing to the amount of time I needed to be spending on myself. I was letting life pull me away again and pull me off balance again. And so she gave me some great tools to use to get through that very difficult time.
So what were some of those tools, Mary?
Well, one of the things that I liked is that there were these video coaching sessions that I could go back and watch over and over, and just hearing what she would talk about in that weekly. So here I am in week 6 and I'm struggling with something, so I could go back to week 1 or 2 and review what we had talked about that had resonated with me. It was as if I had lost touch with the things that had resonated with me back when I was in that honeymoon. That's what's so great about her program is you've got access to it 24/7. And you've got this person who is talking to you like, you're her best friend. And it's comfortable and it's private. And once in a while, I would even be doing my writing and my journaling, and my husband would walk in and he would say, what are you doing? And I'd say, I'm working on me. I'm working on my playbook. And he would just shut the door and walk out. I think he knew that I'm really on this journey. This is me working on me with someone who has done this successfully before.
Yeah, and I should just quickly jump in and say the playbook that Mary's talking about, so the program that she went through, which is the primary program that people do with me, is called Vibrant Health Playbook. And the playbook that she's talking about is literally a document that we create together at the end of the program that is the sort of culmination of all of the things that we work on together during the 8 to 10 weeks that we work together.
So when you have clients in this moment of kind of a pit or a low point, Laura, do you sense it? Do they call you typically? It sounds like Mary referred to the resources you had given her, but what do you do? How do you suss that out?
Yeah, I mean, it happens to everyone. And usually I can tell in one of two ways. Either they have decided to reschedule an appointment because they feel like they haven't done, like they're afraid to talk to me because they're not on top of everything. And I always have to remind them that you don't have to be, that's why I'm here. And the other way is that, when I do get on the phone with them for a coaching call, the first thing that I do in all of my coaching calls is ask them what's new and good. And sometimes it's harder for them, they go straight into what's not new and good.
Yeah.
Right. And so I have to sort of pull them out. And so it all comes back to that focusing on what's going well. I mean, that's how you get out of it every single time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm sure you don't always, it's hard to find those places of positivity and good, even on the coach side. Mm-hmm. It's got to be at times.
Yeah, sometimes it is. Some days it's harder than others, no question. Yep. Right? Sometimes you have to dig deeper, and sometimes the beginning of those coaching calls takes a little while to get back in that mindset. But it does happen. Mm-hmm. There's always something. Mm-hmm. There's always something, and it is miraculous how quickly it turns around once they find that one thing. Yeah, that's all it takes.
So how did you guys know when the program was done? Or does the program have, it comes to an end? So Laura, how have you designed that? And then it sounds like I want to hear about how did you finish? And move a little bit more into, Mary, how you're sustaining this. So Laura, first, tell us kind of how does the program come to a close?
Yeah, sure. So it's designed as it's a roughly a 10-week program. There are 8 weeks of actual content. And, when Mary was talking about the video coaching sessions there, each week you get access to a short video, 10 minutes roughly. And then there are exercises that go with each week. And then you hop on the phone with me for coaching calls as well. So it is designed as a finite program. And that is on purpose, because what I've learned over the years is that this type of these, sort of high achieving women that I work with move through material. They get results faster than most people. I used to do a 6-month program, and by, month like 3 or something, they were already they were in a good place. So I specifically designed the program to be shorter. So yes, there is an end, and then there are opportunities for additional support if they want that. And many people do that, to sort of take it to another level, to go deeper, to keep the momentum going, because there's always more, right? There's always another goal in sight. There's always a deeper level that you can go. So many people take advantage of that as well.
Keep going.
Yeah.
So Mary, how did you feel when the program came to an end?
Well, I was excited because I had seen such great results. I had started to share it with people I knew, recommending it to friends, even my coworkers. I did a presentation at work. And so I was feeling so just soaring, but I didn't want to say goodbye. I wanted to keep the sessions going just selfishly. It was like having a security blanket that you don't want to let go of. And I believe that it is something that I can have Laura as in my corner as like go have a checkup, once, twice a year if I want. And that's my plan, is that this is not ended. This is, maybe my playbook is now complete, but it's now applying it in my life and seeing the results. I'll use an example. The other day, there's a group of people who have started doing a CrossFit class together, and I'm not enrolled for it. I'm still too shy to go ask, can I join your CrossFit? I still feel that, old lady working with 20-year-olds, and I have to overcome that. I have to use the tools that I've been given to overcome that and put it out there that I want to join your group. And I remember Laura, she gave me permission that it's okay to not, go out there and try to be a CrossFit 20-year-old. Find the things that are right for you right now.
Yeah. And even in approaching those 20-year-olds, we all kind of still feel 20-year-old in our heads, don't we? Like,
absolutely.
You do. You don't change in the way you think about what you can achieve and what you can do. It's just the little voice around our age and the labels that are put on us. So, Mary, I hope that you find that great group and the courage, and, don't let that hold you back, because you obviously are an incredibly driven person. Just one final question back to you, Mary. How is it, do you feel like your behaviors have significantly changed where now it's just a way of life? Or how hard do you have to keep working at it to sustain this level of healthiness?
Oh, I had to do some pretty heavy negotiating with myself. When I was on the cruise, there was just too easy access, pizza and soft serve ice cream 24/7. It was hard. And, I could hear Laura saying, you can have this, or you could try this. And so things like that, when I'm, on vacation, or when we're having a family get together, and there's just an array of things that I just have to be not so hard on myself and look at each thing for what it is. Is this nourishing my body? Is it making me happy? Am I, can I have a piece of this? And so that's a constant negotiation. The other thing is, she helped me come up with, I used to buy a candy bar every time I went through the grocery store line. It was as if I could not walk through that tunnel to pay for my groceries without the candy saying buy me. And I've been putting that money that I don't spend on a candy bar in a fund to spend on myself. And I already spent $75 of it on myself recently. So it's working. I mean, just that little bit. I know that seems silly, but a candy bar a day was killing me.
Yeah, no, I loved that. That was Mary's idea to reallocate that money, and you know, to her point about being on a cruise and being on vacation and sort of knowing like where you can, what your limits are with, like, you know, you want to be able to indulge and enjoy those things sometimes, and understanding kind of how far you can push it without getting to a place that makes you feel bad.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Well, you know, wow, what a wonderful partnership. Thank you guys both for sharing your story with us. Lara, any final comments or anything that you'd like to leave with listeners as you see you've got to feel wonderful about Mary's progress and where she's at, and it's got to be, it's got to be fun to see that progress in people.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And it's so amazing to hear Mary's voice again, because it's been a couple months since we talked, and you know, I swear I get as much out of working with these amazing women as they do from working with me. And I know it sounds like a cliche, but it really is true. And Mary is a perfect example of that. It's such a pleasure to see her thrive, and to have, you know, to work with someone who's so engaged in and willing to open their mind to new ways of doing things, because that's how you get there. And anyway, I just love you, Mary. I do.
Thank you. I love you too.
Well, on that note, that's a perfect ending. Thank you both. And I think, you know, if there's any further questions, certainly look us up at Geneve.com. We'll have contact information for Lara Dolch and her ongoing practice in helping women get over themselves. What is it? What
Get out of their own way.
Get out of their own
but
way.
Really, yeah, more about feeling vibrant. That's what we're going for, right?
Perfect. That's the positive on it. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Many women experience a crisis of confidence at midlife when hormone changes can make us feel out of control. There's no shame in looking for help through the rough times. You can find Lara Dolch at laradolch.com, or simply search for a lifestyle coach near you. We've got a bunch of great podcasts coming up, including Dr. Anna Garrett on Kicking the Sugar Habit, just in time for Halloween. And the co-owner and head brewer of Portsmouth Brewery talked to us about their one-of-a-kind beer, brewed just for women in menopause. You do not want to miss these, so meet me back here at Geneve.com. See you soon. Thanks for listening to the Geneve podcast series. We welcome your feedback at Geneve.com. That's GENNEVE.com. You can follow us on Facebook and subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher, and you'll never miss an episode. The Geneve podcast series is produced by Shannon Perry. Theme music by Smitty. And until next time, watch the Geneve website for new stories and offers all dedicated to women's midlife health.